he sucks.
Rye, what is rye?
Why would you drink rye? Why would anybody drink rye?
Can't be.
Rye sucks. Rye is a weed.
Rye
There's so many who hate rye. Oh,
Rye sucks.
No. I gotta fix this.
I don't even know why we're here, but welcome back to Alcohol Content. We are here a little early in the morning because someone had a little nightmare or something. I don't know what was going on last night, but we kind of got a emergency call, and you know we're here. We're superheroes. We're gonna do our duty and save the world, I guess.
Answer the call.
Ryan, what's going on here?
Guys, I had the most upsetting dream.
Okay.
It involved you guys, all three of you actually. And
Oh, do tell.
it's unlike my normal steamy ones.
Okay. So it was normal with the characters.
Abnormal with the content.
Okay.
The alcohol content.
Oh.
But I had this terrible dream that no one likes rye. And you guys just kept yelling at me that rye was terrible. And
What?
I know that's not true in real life.
No.
Not
Ryan.
true.
But I needed to
Not true.
reaffirm. So I called this summit
Okay.
of the minds, this mind meld
Oh.
of rye.
Okay.
Because I figured we should probably prove once and for all to each other as well as you
All right.
that rye is legit and you should buy it and it deserves at least equal to bourbon in status. And so yeah, we're here.
Are you sure?
Sorry for the early call.
Are you,
All right.
Are you sure your dream? Well, wait a second. I want to get this clear. Was your dream that no one liked rye whiskey because that's inaccurate, or that no one liked you, Rye?
This is
Ooh,
deep.
that's a good call.
That's a deep
That's a good call.
observation.
I don't pay you enough as a therapist to know this right now, but
Isn't that what this is? Ultimately, it's our therapy session.
you leave Rye Tai Loco out of this, all right?
All right. Well,
Well, as long as we're here, we might as well prove it
might
to
as
the
well hear
world,
it.
right?
We,
I didn't even have time to change.
Yeah, you guys, remember Jordan here. I picked him up on the way here in the morning because it's definitely morning time. All right. He doesn't know much about rye, and I was like, well, let's bring him along. Let's show him the ropes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
so-
is a reward for giving him that Nick Offerman
exactly.
Lagavulin.
That is my
Mm.
dear friend I mentioned last time. He gave for Christmas. He gave me the Nick Offerman bottle.
Deer.
Speaking
friend.
of deer,
Stag.
Stag.
Hey.
All right.
Grab
So here's the deal.
Yeah.
I'm looking up here. I know which one I'm starting with because I already recommended it in our previous episode, which you can
Because
go look at.
you like it a lot.
Exactly. I love this bottle.
the holiday gift
Yeah.
episode.
The holiday gift episode. It's linked above. You can go check it out. But I mean,
Look
come
at
on,
how
guys.
Look at
Oh,
how he
man.
grabbed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Very
the George
forcefully.
Dickel.
Ham-fisted, I might
Yeah.
say.
The George
Wow.
Dickel Rye. This is
Dickel dill pickle.
This is a everyday drinker, okay? I love this rye. You can't go wrong, okay? People are like, oh, rye is so peppery. It's just pepper. Oh, you can only use it in cocktails. Well, guess what? Not this one, okay? This is cheap, it's sweet, and it's 95% rye, okay?
Yeah, this
floral, flowery.
Yeah. So,
We just talk about the neck on that bottle.
exactly. It's got some, it's a giraffe, all right?
Okay.
That's
Some
the
people
giraffe.
refer to that as the shaft, actually.
The shaft.
Yeah,
of
the
bottle.
giraffe shaft.
I,
Draft shaft.
I thought
Hey, man, it's some people. It's not me.
I
Yeah.
thought that's why I remarked how he grabbed it.
The shaft
Yeah.
of the Dickel.
So before we drink
knows
any of
what he's
this, all right? Rye, 95% rye. Okay, whatever. What do those numbers mean? Rick, give us a little rundown. What the hell is rye?
So, well, rye is a grain, and it's a hardy grain. And so, truthfully, after in the United States, just history-wise, maybe you didn't mean me to go this far back, but history-wise, rum was the drink, the triangular trade, until after the Revolutionary War, and then the newfound Americans couldn't get rum nearly as much because the triangular trade wasn't as prominent. And so basically in Maryland and Pennsylvania were the two hot spots where Scotch and Irish immigrants located in heavy numbers. And they went, hey, we know how to distill. So they wanted to distill, but barley didn't grow really well there. But guess what did? Rye.
Rye Thai
So
local.
rye became the initial American drink.
Really?
Yeah. And George Washington ultimately produced 10,000 gallons. He had 5 stills, and he was the prominent distiller in the nation.
Well, there you go. That's your
Crazy.
answer.
Rye.
That's
There
why
you go.
you drink rye.
There you go.
People. All right.
Be
it's
American.
American.
Be American.
God dang America.
America.
Actually,
Whoa.
it goes way further back than that.
Okay.
So in ancient Rome, they talked about it. So like Pliny the Elder, who's a famous ancient Roman,
Ah, yes.
Philosopher?
yeah,
Okay.
he was writing to one of the Caesars or Augustus of Rome, so the leader of the Roman Empire, and he was talking about rye and how he hated it so much because it was a weed and it was an infestation upon all their glorious crops, and they should get rid of all the rye. So it was growing all over the place, even when they didn't want it.
Okay.
And so now it's become more of a nice grain that people use. But it grows in shitty climates and shitty terrain.
Yeah, and obviously rye is used in some bourbon mash bills, right? But this is this is strictly rye. It has to be a legal rye. Which what's the
50,
percentage?
50. So the rules for rye are almost exactly that for bourbon, except for it's got to be a minimum of 51%
Yeah.
rye.
And I'm
grain.
going all the way
Okay.
with this one. This is 95%. This is a real rye. Okay.
Mm.
So, I mean, and this one is unique. So, just everybody, what are you guys smelling? Because I know what you are smelling because I love it. This is why I love this bottle.
I'm always impressed on how perfumey it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's so floral and
Floral
perfumey.
spearmint. I'm getting just a really nice spearmint on the nose.
See, this is spearmint and dill, the herb dill.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's-
not dill pickle.
No. This Dickel dill pickle is not what you smell on the nose, but it is the herb dill.
Yeah.
And it is one of my favorite notes in whiskey. I love this so much.
Some people don't like it,
Yeah.
which is interesting. But this is sort of the antithesis of the really black peppery rye.
Yes.
This is you kind of have that pepper profile, or you have the floral dill kind of softer profile.
With rye, and with the pepper, I'd also put cinnamon and other
Yeah.
warming spices.
Yeah.
Or it goes sort of dillish.
Yeah.
But then lots of people pick up at certain points in time some type of mint, peppermint,
I get mint on
spearmint.
this for sure.
This is the nose is spearmint. This is, by the way, this is 90 proof. It is 95% rye, 5% barley.
And it's cheap.
And it's $25.
Yeah.
$25.
$25.
Yeah, $25.
Wow.
Have you tasted it yet, Jordan?
No, I haven't.
It
Going in.
It is 90 proof, easy on the tongue. Excuse me. But it is sweet. It carries a little bit of that dill over into the flavor palette. It's spearmint. What you smell on the nose, it transfers over and it like makes sense.
Wow.
Like this is so good for how cheap it is. And it's
It's
almost
crazy.
all the way rye. Okay, this is not super peppery. It has a little bit of, little spice to it, but man, this is nice and sweet. So good.
It kind of connects uniquely to whatever that is that gets triggered when you're eating a lemon.
Oh,
Like back here. I don't know what that
little
is.
like tangy
Yeah.
glands or
but
something. Yeah.
Compared to everything
Your
else
tangy
we
glands.
drank, that
Yeah.
sets
old
something out
bland
there.
No,
tangy.
it's a lighter, almost citrusy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the dill.
herbal.
Yeah, because I
It's-
like that sour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's every time we ever have this,
Every
it's
time.
amazingly complex. And then when you figure it's $25 price point, that's unreal.
Yeah.
This is one of the best values of any whiskey, I think.
oh, for sure.
And I know in the bourbon world, many viewers do not like Dickel bourbon because of the Flintstone vitamin
Yeah.
quality that they get off it, the
They
minerality
do
that
have a
they get off
weird,
of
like, gravelly
it.
note to them.
And
Yeah.
this rye, 95% rye,
Yeah.
Not there.
nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Isn't this sourced from MGP?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What's
If it's
MGP?
rye.
MGP is this huge. Well, they're not called MGP anymore.
It's
Robbins.
Ross and Squibb
Ross
or
and
whatever
Squibb.
now. Yeah.
So it's this producer in Indiana that is just massive, and a lot of distilleries buy stuff from them and then relabel it and bottle it or age it extra or do different things with it. But they were sort of an unknown name as far as consumer wise, but they provided so many bottles and barrels to other distilleries that they've started producing their own stuff.
Okay.
And it's getting more and more recognition, but huge grain producer and distillery in
Their fingerprints
Indiana.
are all over
Everywhere.
other stuff. We just don't know it necessarily.
Especially rye.
Yeah, they're known for their
so good
long time
with their
lagered away
rye.
ryes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So again, if you're a don't care for Dickel bourbon, this is
so much better
MGP.
than all their bourbons.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I'm not a fan of George Dickel bourbon unless it's their bottle and bond
Bottle and bond.
13 year.
Yeah,
which
11 and
you
13
got
year.
that for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's a great bottle.
Yeah,
But
that
most
was
of the
really
other stuff
good.
I'm not a huge fan of. But this and the bottle and bond, fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
that's a. So, are we reaffirming that rye is good? Rye?
Hey, you don't have to.
do you remember?
This
don't have
rye
to
is
confirm with
fucking
me.
delicious.
I love it.
Yeah.
So good.
The dream version of us were lying. So we drink this.
The dream.
Yeah.
Well, you know how in your dream, like it's you can't like imagine a random face. Like it's always kind of somebody you know, or it's like
You were projecting our personalities
on the
onto
dream,
a bunch
Ryan.
of rye hating ghosts. That's what you're
yeah,
saying.
you're a bunch of rye hating ghosts.
Wow.
You mother.
So
Grab the Old Forester. I want the Old
the Old
Forester,
Forester.
rye.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So if this can't convince
Diving
you,
in.
let's move on to another option, I guess.
Is that
Man, I can't believe
You're
you guys
supposed
came
to-
over at 9 a.m. That's awesome.
Hey man, we have a mission. Ryes are worth it to me. I'll do anything for ryes because ryes, when it comes to whiskey, are my favorite. I would say we're now, after this time of doing the podcast, it goes ryes, scotch, and then bourbon for me.
ooh, color on this? It's nice.
Yep.
So this is Old Forester rye.
I hope you don't got any plans after this. Got a nice little pour going on
Yeah,
there.
that would be an unfortunate
You have
series
plans
of
after
events.
this?
I
Well,
do.
it's-
I have
we all-
plans.
I mean-
most.
Uh-oh.
We all got to go to work.
Yeah, wait. You do something after the morning drinking? This is the rest of my day.
Gotta go drive a street sweeper.
You gotta go hit your school bus route.
Oh wow! Oh my
Ooh,
God!
below the belt.
Lord, wow!
All right. So
Wow! That's,
Jordan is not a school
no,
bus
he is
driver.
not. No.
He drives the handicap.
So Old Forester.
Let's
trying to
edit
sell
that
him.
one out.
We're trying to sell him here, boys. All right. So the Old Forester, we know we love the 100 proof bourbon. Okay, it's great. It's super cheap.
It won our
It did
best
one.
under 30
Yep, which is ages ago now.
ages
The
ago.
Quest. That's how we started this.
Is that
podcast.
its age? It's under 30.
Well, it
Yeah,
is under 30.
I
Yeah.
hope so. A 30-year-old bourbon
Price
is gonna taste
point.
like
Ass.
burnt wood.
Ass. Yeah.
So what's the deal with the Old Forester?
well, the Old It's another budget. That's about $25 also for this Old Forester rye. It's 100 proof. It is unique in this sense. And I love this stuff. It's got a 20% barley mash bill, so it's
Okay.
I think 65% rye. So the Dickel was 95% rye. So this is 65% rye. But then the next highest grain in it is barley, which is 20%. That is very unusual. Usually it's 5 to 10% barley in bourbons or ryes or whatever.
Okay.
And then the rest is corn. So I think it's 15% corn. So that's what's unique
Which-
about this.
The barley, typically there's always a small amount of barley in a mash bill
For-
because it's so easy for it to ferment it.
Helps the fermentation.
So it's
process.
fermentation before it's distilled.
Okay.
Because malted barley is so easy to ferment that like beer
Yeah.
is using barley.
Yep.
Sometimes. And so that's why they always have like a little bit of barley in there. But this is a lot of barley,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird.
Mm.
And then scotch, single malt scotch is all barley.
It's feels a little sweeter than the last one.
It's
Is that-
yeah.
It definitely looks heavier, thicker,
Mhm.
What I
darker.
the thing that I love about Ryes as well is it has so many. It's so wide in its flavor palette from this one
Diverse,
It's
yeah.
very diverse, and so this you take away the dill, but this is really perfumey. For me, it almost smells like a laundry detergent, but not in a bad way. It's like a really good smelling laundry detergent.
This is, see, to me, the
Laundry.
Dickel is more like a woman's perfume, and this is more of like a man's cologne,
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's a little creamy on the nose too.
or whatever gender fluid
Yeah, whoever
thing
you are,
you identify
whatever
as.
you wear, just make sure you smell good.
I don't want to be binary
Yeah.
here.
No, I didn't wear cologne today because I didn't
We
want
can
to
tell.
distract you
We
guys.
can tell, and honestly, it's a little
It's a little
disturbing.
disturbing.
I can tell you haven't showered for a few days because this morning you smell a little. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't wear
Wrung
colognes in
out.
the morning. I don't know what to say.
So,
Meet me at night though.
yeah, times have changed.
Ooh, a stag party.
Stag party.
All right,
Rotten season.
so what does this bad boy taste like? Let's get this in our guzzle.
Gullet?
Gullet down our gullet.
Guzzle.
Let's guzzle this gullet.
Let's
It's
get
the
this.
double
in our-
Guzzle it
Listen
down our
here,
gullet.
pervert.
Yeah, I'm about to guzzle this gullet. Hold on.
If I had a nickel.
Mm.
So Jordan, there's less. This is more than a barely legal rye, which is 51%.
Okay.
But there is less rye in here than the Dickel that we just had.
So it's barely legal.
This is beyond barely legal, but
He's like 21 years old.
21?
Not 18.
well, for
Okay.
God's sake! Oh
Yeah.
my God!
It's been
No,
around
it's
for a while.
65% rye is what I
Okay.
meant. Oh my goodness gracious! Can't take these guys anywhere.
So
Wow! Who would
this
say something like that?
this is really sweet.
Yeah.
And it takes it down a candy route for me.
Mm.
What is that? It's gonna be like a round. Oh, like a lifesaver, like a green lifesaver. It's not.
Green.
What?
Yeah, there we go.
Lifesaver.
I got it. I
What are you
figured it out,
talking
guys. The
about?
puzzle's complete.
I would think more of like a toffee.
Dan Brown over here.
No,
Caramel.
I'm getting a little bit of green apple
It's
lifesaver.
like solving the Da Vinci
apple?
Oh,
Code.
you're
Yeah.
getting a little green apple.
Yeah.
So
Green-
not
look at
green.
that.
You know
not
what?
green. Not green in the
Maybe
spearmint. So do you taste any? Is there any? Are you getting any mint on this at all, or dill?
I would say in the burn, there's a little minty of. in
I would
that
agree.
burn.
I would totally
I
agree.
get, I get
it
no
totally-
dill. I get no.
I get no
No dill.
dill. I get no dill.
No
It is
deal.
mint.
No
Howie.
No deal.
No
Howie.
deal.
Opens the case. It's just a bunch of pickles.
No deal.
No deal, Howie.
But Jordan, you're right. You're right
Yeah.
on the aftertaste down
Yeah.
here. There's just a slight sort of mint,
I get
but
that.
not prominent in the flavor profile.
No, it's much more on the caramel. Like clearly more barrel influence on this
Yeah.
than on the Dickel dill pickle. It's literally the equivalent to the 100 proof bourbon, just rye.
Yeah.
But there's so many qualities that are identical.
Yeah.
But then it's just a little more
This
rye
is
spice.
good.
Yeah.
So now that you've had two of the cheaper ryes,
Yeah.
Jordan, what are you finding a difference? Can you see a difference between bourbon that you've tried versus ryes?
I don't know if my palate's that refined yet. I mean, I would honestly have to try the bourbon and then try this. And I'm coming off, that shit Canadian rye that we tried
we don't.
earlier.
We'll mention that a little bit later, okay, folks. We got something that you should stay away from, okay? Rye,
Stay away from it.
just like all bourbon, not all bourbons are good, not all ryes are good, okay? But we're showing you the good stuff. Wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
So, because I think you'll find as you compare them and as your palate grows,
Yeah.
rye has a distinct flavor that separates it, and it can be peppery, it can be minty, it can be dill, it could be really sweet and creamy. Oh,
Yeah.
we're not even there yet, okay, guys? It's getting me excited. All right.
Which and with
When
bourbon,
do we get to the sweet and creamy?
Oh, just hold your horses.
and even with bourbon, like the bourbons that have more rye in it than normal,
Mhm.
usually awesome.
Yeah.
Four Roses.
Well,
Four Roses is the
I
perfect.
think
example.
we proved it then.
Oh,
your,
we're
your
not
dream
done.
was
We're-
your dream was a lie.
We've already switched it with just this cheap stuff, okay? We're going to bring down the house with the expensive
Yeah,
stuff. So,
I'm alley-ooping it to you guys.
yeah.
Just wait till you guys see what I got.
Oh.
Oh, you
brought
brought
something,
something?
huh?
You brought a rye?
All right.
I brought something. It's down
Okay.
here.
As long as
ready
it's
to
not the
go.
dill pickle.
Jordan does have something going on after this. Whoa.
So, Old Forester, this is more.
Hashtag me too, dude.
Oh my god.
I would say this is more of a, if you're really uncertain about ryes, so the Dickel that we just tasted on the cheap end for $25, that hits you with that sort of rye, a lot of different rye notes. You know, I mean, the spearmint, the dill, all kinds of stuff going on, which is awesome. But if you don't like that and you're a bourbon drinker, then this would be a better entry point. This Old Forester 100, it's cheap, $25, so you're not out a lot.
It's also worth mentioning this is a liter bottle, which is not $25. The 750 is about $25.
Yes,
Okay.
this is
The liter's a little bit more now.
Yeah.
It used to be like $2 more for the liter, which was always the best deal on the shelf.
Yeah.
I think they've raised it in certain places now.
$25 you can get it in your mouth though.
Mm-hmm. Cheap entry.
Just depends on the size.
So, yeah. I mean, I like it. It's a different profile. I don't know what's going on here. You guys,
This guy.
you guys need to
This guy over here.
slow your roll, okay?
Slow
We're
your-
trying to convince the audience that ryes are important. All right.
they're relevant
They're very relevant.
Now,
and good.
Jordan's going to have to somehow figure out how to get that
In
whole
his mouth.
Oh,
What do
boy.
Knob.
What-
We went from
Excuse me.
Dickel to knob.
Dickel the knob.
Well, we
This
went,
is a big pour.
It was.
that was
What are you doing?
that was a. I'm generous.
God.
Yeah.
He's a
He's got
guest.
things to do
He's
after
a
this.
guest.
I am going to do something.
Jordy
after
is
this.
not. He is definitely fairly legal. He is very legal. Okay.
I've been legal for a few years.
Yeah, for quite a few. So that's what's going on here, folks. We're starting early.
Wait till you see what I got.
Jordan's actually older than Rick. It's crazy. He just looks really good.
I drink a lot of rye.
We have a
He's
prime-
just killing it.
We have a prime
Drinks a lot of rye.
So what's going on here? So Knob Creek, the bourbon. Everyone knows it. You know it. I know it. He knows it. He knows it. I don't know if you know it. Do you know about it?
I'm being convinced.
Do you know Knob Creek, the bourbon?
Yeah.
9
yeah.
years.
I
9
drink- I
years.
drink it all the time.
Exactly.
Which is a
It's
great
fantastic.
value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome bottle.
Fantastic.
Well, we have the rye version here. I don't think there's no age statement. But it's what, $45? It's a little bit more expensive than the bourbon, I believe.
I don't.
Or is it a little cheap? I don't remember the price.
Yeah, it's more like 35, 40. I
Okay,
think.
that makes more sense.
So it's 100 proof, just like the
So it's
Old
closer
Forester.
to the normal bourbon, I would say, in price range and in
Yeah. Well,
fruit.
what's weird with the bourbon is it's done a lot of weird fluctuations, and I think this has as well. I think a lot of the Knob Creek stuff has gone really weirdly up and down in the last couple years.
Yes.
Because I remember this used to be $25. This used to not be very expensive, and
Yeah.
I think now we're in kind of an upswing
Yeah.
of it. And now it's probably
Inflation.
well. Even despite inflation, it's done weird things because they had production issues to keep up with demand.
Yeah.
So like the 9-year bourbon, they took away the 9-year and then put out less. They didn't put an age statement on it, and then the price kept doing weird
Yeah.
things. And I think this has gone through the kind of the same.
But they're back to the 9-year though. Just
Yeah.
For the
FYI.
bourbon,
This
yeah.
is
for the
this is
bourbon.
going through ryeflation
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Ryeflation.
Rye
this-
Thai Loco is mixing up the market. Okay.
Wow, look at you, spry with the puns.
So this is 100 proof. I mentioned it. It's now this one they don't disclose the mash bill, but it's thought to be barely legal.
Yeah.
51% or near 51%
Really?
rye. Yeah.
Barely legal.
Yeah.
So
So almost bourbon, as close to bourbon as you can get.
So if you go under 51, you
no
become a
longer-
bourbon.
If
it's corn.
if you have to have 51% corn
Okay.
for
yeah,
for
bourbon has rules too, but just to be a legal rye, it needs to be above 51%.
What if
51 or
what if
above,
there's
yeah.
no corn and it's under that with rye?
Then it would be considered an American whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just the general blanket American whiskey.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has a bad rap.
It
Because-
does because most of it's shit.
Yeah. But there are some
But there are
fun
really
things.
good. Yes,
the
really good
the Rogue Spirits, they play around their American you'll know them from their Dead Guy Ale.
Yeah.
But Rogue Spirits, they're American whiskey, but they do some fun stuff. But yeah, American whiskey's kind of
Is that
Wild
Rogue
West.
down in Oregon?
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a few bottles of theirs that are.
I was
pretty fantastic.
down there near where they've got all their brewery stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I hung out with some guy that worked there.
So
He just throwing
And
kegs.
because they do mostly beer, they have messed around with doing kind of like single malt stuff because it's just barley.
yeah,
And so that's
They
what. So
turn-
technically, it's an American whiskey because it wouldn't be a bourbon or a rye
okay.
with just barley.
So this Knob Creek, this is a kind of interesting nose. I get a little earth tones, like
This is
I'm
super
digging
earthy.
in the garden
Yeah.
almost.
Oh, you nailed it.
But
yeah,
I'm planting flowers.
because of the floral
Yeah.
aspect.
Mm.
Which is interesting because a long time ago, I remember this being much more mapley and sweet on the nose. And obviously, they've done some changes and done different things over the years with it. But I remember this being like really sweet and like maple syrupy
Okay.
almost.
Interesting.
And this smells nothing like that. This
Yeah.
is clearly more earth and
Flowers.
But there's
Yeah,
there's a
like-
sweetness there on the nose
Yeah,
and stuff
more
too.
typical rye.
It definitely it's like I feel like I'm smelling rye, maybe. Like I don't know exactly what rye smells like, but I feel like I'm smelling more of the actual rye plant.
Yeah, the actual grain.
Yeah. But it's still floral and sweet.
So I'm getting not so I know before we mentioned just licorice or something like that, but if you have rye bread or rye toast and you get actual rye seed, there's that sort of anise or a little tiny burst of little licorice, black like licorice type thing, and there's a hint of that on the.
That's
I haven't
partly what I'm
tasted.
getting.
There's a
Yeah.
hint of that on the nose.
There's also a numbing factor to black licorice, the anise, and that is also prevalent on the tongue as well.
What did you say there? The anise?
Anise?
What
And
the hell is an
What do you want me to
anise?
say? What do you
Anise.
want me to say?
What is the anise?
Show me where they
Anise is located.
had the anise.
Oh, Lord.
Well, it's actually it comes from around the back of the plant.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might say the alley.
The backyard.
The alley?
That's we're smelling
The backyard.
the backyard, the garden.
You know, I love the garden.
The back
No,
door.
it is.
Yeah.
You nailed it with sort of that earthy stuff going on a little bit, and I just took a little sip. There is definitely, I might be stretching it to say a little fennel, just a little fennel note, but
I definitely get that.
yeah, it's
Fennel
but-
like hit it on the nose because there's like the black licorice,
Yeah.
but the earthy mixed.
So it's interesting doing this coming off of the Old Forester. It's clearly
fennel.
not as sweet.
No.
It's very much
I think it
less sugar and
yeah.
more
a
parching.
little more,
Bitter?
and a little more spice.
I think it represents what people like or what people know about ryes more, a little bit more spicy, but I think it's a good middle ground where it's sweet and spicy. It's good. I would say that this is a staple that you should have, just like the Knob Creek 9-year. This is a staple rye. Is the same way. This is a perfect middle ground between the sweetness and the rye.
spicy
burn.
spices.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get like a pepper
Mhm.
almost.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, a
the
little more
burn
black
is pepper.
Which
Yeah.
is pretty interesting. Now, again, undisclosed mash bill, but everything points towards low, over 51%, but barely over 51%.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because I'm getting more actual rye spices with still richness, bourbony richness, but the rye spices, I'm that fennel, but I'm also getting real cinnamon towards
Yeah.
the end. I forgot how good this was.
Mm-hmm.
This is so far. I mean, I love them
Yeah.
all, but just tonight, right now, this morning. Did I say tonight? This morning. Oh,
Oh, back to 9 a.m.
how time flies.
Wow.
Whoa.
When you're drinking.
Why you guys still watching?
Whoa.
No,
This is doing it for me.
I
Even
agree. This is the middle ground. I think we're gonna find. This is gonna sell whoever doesn't like rye. This is the experience of rye. Of it has all the notes of it. It's a middle ground.
This will convert you, right?
I think this. Yes, I would say this is a good. It's so good. It's sweet. It just has a spice, and sometimes people are turned off from the spice.
Yeah.
Like you'll get something cheaper, like a Rittenhouse rye. Okay, that is a cocktail rye. Old
Super
Overholt
black pepper.
cocktail. They're cheaper. You know, they're in this price range of the 100.
Rittenhouse $25, staple at bars.
Yeah.
For making
And
cocktails.
because it mixes the spice with the sweetness,
Mhm.
right? Well, guess what? This is doing that for you. This is the cocktail that you want with your rye whiskey. Okay, so
Well, Jordan, what do you think? Would this be the one to convince you to drink rye?
I would definitely say so, just because the burn is more unique. The Old Forester and the what was the other one?
Dickel.
that we did? The Dickel.
Old Dickel.
Those were good, but the burn on this is
Yeah.
more unique to draw me into like what the fuck is causing that burn, right?
So it's 100 proof, and
Yeah.
this showcases what I like about bottled and bonds,
Mm.
which are 100 proof, legally have to be 100 proof. This gives me the same experience I really like from that. The Old Forester doesn't really bring that, even though it is the same proof.
Yeah,
It's more sweet. It kind of balances it out. This has a good burn to it.
yeah, I like that.
But
pepper.
what you just said is kind of my fear. Like, I don't know if I would use this as my first bottle to convince somebody into rye just because of how not sweet it is.
Sure.
Because most people trying to like come from bourbon or just in general trying to get into rye, I feel like they might need more sweetness to it. And this does not have that.
All right.
If they're not,
That's
if
just-
they are bourbon, I drink bourbon. Bourbon's it. It's Old Forester 100
Yeah.
rye.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Even though that is the Old Forester rye has a higher rye mash bill than the Knob Creek does. Interestingly enough.
All right.
Yeah.
we think.
So here's
Yes,
the deal.
we think. Yeah.
So if that's not going to convince you,
But it's a good. It's,
Oh,
I
this
mean,
is
it's a good
this is.
bottle.
I mean,
if that's not going to convince
Pretty
you,
goddamn convincing.
all right.
we doing this Sagamore.
Let me show you something
Sang-
a little special.
What do you got going? What are you gonna do?
Oh, so, my favorite bottle, which is right here. You may not be able to see it, but it's the Sagamore Double Oak. That is one of my favorite whiskeys. We're not going to even go that far, okay?
Double oaked rye. Yeah.
Mm.
We're not going to go that far. I'm pulling down. Oh, not that one. That's the cast string. We're going to leave that one there too, okay? I got the Barrel Select, the 6-year Sagamore Spirits American whiskey.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a 6-year rye. This is fantastic. All right, we're about to
And you
find.
it's I think
You
this
can
is
find this.
it's a barrel select, but I think they're doing different ones depending on when you're looking. There's like 6-year, 7-year.
Yeah,
So I think even next year it'll start being 8 years.
Mm.
So they're upping their game as
so
they go.
Sagamore, in general, I mean, they are rye all over the place. I haven't seen anything other than rye. Actually, I think they only produce a rye. We're
they Maryland?
Yes, Maryland.
Yeah.
so we're
Maryland.
moving up. This is
110 proof. So we're
110
moving up in
proof.
proof.
Oh
moving up
boy.
in proof. We're also moving up in price point. All right, we're talking $75 MSRP. If you have taxes, this is going to be a pricey bottle. Okay.
If you have taxes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this was not
Goddamn
bought over
taxes.
enemy territory. This was bought here
The ops.
and is expensive. Okay.
Enemy territory.
Yeah. So.
Don't worry about what that is.
Yeah. You
Not
go
gonna
watch our. You
ask.
can go watch our Secret Ops episode over here, okay? Because
Yeah.
that was fun, but it was dangerous. All right,
Yeah.
it was dangerous. We were putting our lives on the line for some cheap scotch.
We're getting real political.
So, Sagamore, let's just give this boy a smell. I love this bottle. Oh my
Do we know the
god!
mash bill on this?
So here's it's 110 proof. The mash bill, don't know the mash bill, but it is this. It is a mix. It's a blend of a high rye mash bill and a barely legal rye mash bill. So 51% to 55% mash bill mixed with a high rye, maybe 95%. But we don't know the proportion, Was
Yeah.
it 80%, 95%? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, this isn't a math class.
Getting into
but
fractions.
Exactly, fractions and stuff. So we don't know, but it's somewhere between 51% and 100% rye.
So when you say Mashville, what the fuck does that mean?
Mash bill is just the grains they use to produce the distillate, and
Okay.
so
Which
so
percentage
it's a
of which
recipe.
grain?
Like you make chocolate chip cookies. Here's your recipe. Here's the
Okay.
stuff you need. The mash bill for bourbon is going to be 51% corn or above. And
Okay.
then-
Because
and
it's
then-
made from a mash.
Yeah,
Like,
they
you
mash
literally
the-
have
they-
these things that have been boiling. It creates a mash. In
Like
beer
mashed
terms-
potatoes.
Yeah, in beer
But
terms, it's going to be the wort.
Okay.
So you just have this stuff that's boiling. You're soaking your hops and things like that, boiling it and making
Yeah.
your wort. Well, in distilling terms, it's going to be your mash.
It's making me hungry for
Yeah,
breakfast.
there you go.
Exactly.
Hash browns.
Yeah, we got some eggs
And
and
I
hash
mean,
browns
it
upstairs.
gets really it gets really nerdy and sciencey. So I mean, some it's proprietary, but how far they mash whatever the grain, the corn, the rye, like how much they make it mashed versus chunk.
Yeah.
There's different grinds, if you will, like different
Wow.
grinds, and
Like
that
coffee?
changes things. But the mash bill in itself is just what's this made from? What grains is the
Okay.
spirit made from?
Yep.
That's the mash bill.
Cool.
It's a
Which
recipe.
also important. So corn for bourbon is the main thing, but the longer you age something in a barrel, the corn flavor dies off.
Falls
Sweetness,
off,
by the
yeah.
way.
Okay.
But it's sweetness, but it's a distinctive the influence of the corn starts dying off with age in a barrel, and then the rye, wheat, and barley start increasing.
Okay.
So if you have a 10-year, 12-year, 15-year bourbon, the corn almost adds nothing to it, and then it's whatever else the mash bill is that's where the flavor comes from.
Well, the corn adds to it, but the corn taste, is
Is
what's
gone.
falling.
Yeah,
off.
rye is hardy in its living, and it's also very hardy in the flavor profile
Yeah.
as you age it. It's a hardy plant all
Sa-
around.
and same with wheat. Wheat does the same kind of thing. It goes up.
What
as
does
you go.
rye look like exactly?
It's a seed about this long and slender or whatever, and it's. I mean, if you've ever had rye bread, true rye bread, then there's some rye seeds in there or whatever.
Okay.
And if you bite into it, I always get like a fennel-y,
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of semi-fennel-y,
licorice.
flavor or whatever from it. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
this is on the nose. What we've had consistently, perfumey.
Mhm.
Rye forward is going to give you some sort of perfumey note. Now it's going to be unique depending on the mash bill, but this continues with that. This is perfumey with a little bit of dill, but this is like a hidden dill. Like this is reminding me of the old George Dickel, okay, but it doesn't fully
Whoa.
blossom. It's just there. Whoa, Jordan is
The flavor.
whoa.
That's different.
So
Wow.
rye is unique. It can offer some fun senses.
And what these guys do that's really fun is they do a really good job of combining those rye flavors
Yeah.
with a sweetness with the proof that all kind of come together and make an awesome product.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
So when you said, wait, describe what you just tasted or why it's
I'm
different.
not totally sure, but it was completely different
So
than
this is
everything else
110
we've
proof.
tested. No, I mean, it wasn't just a burn. It's like there's a flavor in that's
Now,
completely different than everything else we've tried.
so on the George Dickel, on the nose, I said dill, and it did not come through the taste. On this,
That has a lot of
Yeah.
dill.
I did not say
Yeah.
no dill on the nose. It's hinting at it, but on
And
the
the
tongue,
flavor.
oh,
Yeah.
And this is not like this does not taste like a pickle. Okay, this is dill, the herb. You can like it's
No
not
cucumbers
it's not
involved.
vinegary. Okay, and that's the thing is everyone's like, oh, dill, I don't want that. Trust me, this is not vinegary.
Like dill you put on some salmon.
Exactly. This is
Yeah.
an
Mm.
herb that is earthy and it reminds you of a pickle because obviously pickles have dill in them, but this is perfectly blended sweetness, dill, and spice.
Do they have dill involved in this at all?
No,
No,
this is
Wow.
rye.
that's
Where
an
does that
outgrowth.
come from?
The rye.
It's the rye.
The rye.
It's purely
Really?
just that grain. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. Now,
Hence,
see your why? That is why you drink rye because it
why?
brings so much.
Why as a wow?
Good
Yeah.
fucking
You know what's
bottle
funny?
right
That
there.
question that you just asked, I remember doing hosting a wine class one time, and I was describing a bottle, and I was like, there's like a hazelnut note on this. Like you get hazelnut when you drink this. and I had a lady say, "Oh, I can't drink this.
Oh,
I'm
no.
allergic to hazelnuts." And I was like, "There's no hazelnuts in it."
Lady, guess what? You can finally taste what hazelnuts taste
That's
like.
exactly what I said. I was like, "This is your one chance. You can actually taste hazelnut without having to
It's
eat
not gonna
hazelnuts."
blow up
And
your
she
face.
Wouldn't do
Yeah.
it. She refused.
No way.
Yeah. I was
That
like,
is how strong our senses are. Is you can trick the mind.
I was like, this is
Hazelnut
just
free.
grapes because it was wine.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and she wouldn't
Wow.
do it. It's like,
I'm allergic to dill. Okay, no, thank you.
yeah, I was like, this is your one opportunity.
So this is pricey. All right, but
it is.
but
How much?
this is $75 to $80.
It's pretty pricey.
Okay.
That's pretty
But-
pricey.
I mean, you said wow, right? Have you ever tasted something like this?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, because you can only get this in rye. That's why. Okay, folks, this is why you buy.
He set you up and
Oh wow!
Buy
He did.
Sam rye.
He
That's
just
why you
spiked
do
the
that.
ball on you.
Okay,
Drink it.
this I cannot. I have a thing. I just have a thing. This is one. This is just one. Okay, the Sagamore. I mean, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Okay, I'll grab them all. I'll just do it. Like we'll bring them down. This, give me this one. Give me that one. I have so many reasons why you should buy rye. Okay, this is just. It's so good and it's so unique. It's better than bourbon. I'll say it. It's better than bourbon. All right. I mean, the Stellum Rye. We're not even gonna do it on this episode. Trust me. Like this is wild. All right.
That's
You
the
you
after
got me
party.
going. All right. You want me to sell rye to the masses, Ryan? You think I'm gonna say that in a dream? Well, you can go F yourself. That's what I have to say about that.
all I can say is you are very spry this morning.
Yeah.
Sprite.
Okay, I got that morning coffee going. Okay.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
you do. Oh, wow. Woo.
I
Is it still 9 a.m.?
I don't know yet, but
It's just a time loop.
Oh my God.
Nice
That was
catch.
that was
You
nice
just
catch.
came
much
all
you
over the
recovered?
table.
that was for my homies. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Let's suck that up
Yeah.
right there.
So
Zamboni?
I'm getting a little excited here because I'm
Zamboni.
passionate about ryes. All right, this you have to go get this bottle. If you are a fan of bourbon, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're a fan of.
To be fair,
To be fair,
we've had they make a lot of stuff.
They
We've
make-
had 3 or 4
Oh,
different
yeah.
ones
yeah.
that we've tried,
So
and they're all fantastic.
Mhm.
They do have some other ones that I've avoided buying.
The
just
rum.
it seems questionable. I think they have like a tequila cask
Yeah.
one. It's like, I don't know if I would do that because that
always
seems sticky. But for the most part, they make excellent products.
Yeah.
so this one right here, it definitely it has those rye notes, but there's also a wonderful sort of like, I'm going to argue at the center of it, this caramely goodness that pulls them all to it in a nice balance
It's
or
got
whatever.
the sweetness to hold
The
it
sweetness and the
Yep.
caramely sweet. It's extremely good.
But it has the spice. It has
Oh no,
the pepper.
there's
It's
yes,
just there.
no,
It's like
and now I'm I had the third sip, and now I've got cracked black pepper going
Mhm.
on,
Oh, yeah.
like freshly cracked black pepper. Yeah, we are huge fans of Sagamore Spirits for
everything
sure.
they do, I've loved so far.
yeah.
I have this. We have the cast strength, the double oak. The double oak is one of my favorite whiskeys ever.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I would argue it's better than this. And this is hard to beat.
Historically speaking,
This is more classic.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's more
yes.
surprising.
Yes. Historically speaking, the Maryland ryes had a higher corn. They were sweeter than the Pennsylvania. So rye grew up in 2 places in the United States. I mentioned that, Pennsylvania and Maryland in particular.
2 orphaned children.
But the Pennsylvania had a higher rye mash bill. The Maryland used more corn, and so it was known as sort of the sweeter rye.
Hmm.
So
Nature
this
over
is
nurture, or
this is
nurture
staying
over
in the
nature.
tradition of it, because there's definitely a sweetness to this with all kinds of spiky, pleasant spice notes.
Yeah.
What do you think of the burn in the bite?
It's fantastic.
Exactly.
Everything about this bottle is
Yeah.
fucking great.
Thank you. Wow.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I just can. Sorry, I'm going to make this about me for
Okay.
5 minutes. Bring down the old Ezra 7.
Oh,
We
boy.
didn't. let's bring it down. Another
sure?
rye,
You
another
sure about
rye.
this? You want to bring
I
this
just-
on the masses?
Well, I just want to. I honestly, I'm indulging myself. I want to because we just had the Sagamore. I want to just
Yeah,
do
I
it
just
sort of
gave
a
him a nut
head-to-head.
punch. You just want to do another one?
Ba-ba.
But
Ba-bam.
you want to
Double
get the
punch.
1-2
No,
with
the
the-
Hey, that's jazz pool, baby.
The Sagamore was so good. I want to, and I think the old Ezra 7 is really good too.
Pool.
I want to do just a quick. Doesn't have to be a full blown.
You know,
But this old Ezra 7 rye.
how aware of jazz pool is Rick?
Oh, he's very aware. But is the audience aware of jazz pool?
Not
very
at
much.
all.
Water in there.
I don't. Yeah, I might have.
Well, okay. Well, you'll have to swallow that. Swallow that. See, sorry.
All of this?
It's.
Most
I'm
water.
sorry. It's in. I wasn't watching because I didn't have my coffee this morning.
Yeah, who puts water in their glass?
I
while
did.
someone's pouring?
I did. Sorry.
All right, so old Ezra, what's going on here, Rick? You wanted to pull this.
I
down?
did. I wanted to pull it down because
7 years.
old Ezra. Yes, it's 7 years. This is 114 proof. So it was 110. We just had 100. We had 110 with the Sagamore. This is 114. But why I wanted to pull it down is because this is also a mixture of a high rye mash bill, like 95%, and a 51% rye mash bill.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it emulates. We don't know exactly the Sagamore, but it emulates that.
Well,
So, Rick, speaking of 7 year, how real is the 7 year itch in a marriage?
The 7-year itch. I don't know. I
I
scratch
don't know.
all the time.
I'm still a fiance. I don't know anything about this.
I like the movie.
Hey, that is a-
Marilyn
that is a-
Marilyn
yes,
Monroe.
yes,
great
yes,
oh
movie.
yes,
yeah,
That
yes.
is
Is
a
it
great
really?
movie.
It is
Yeah.
a really good. It's
Absolutely.
pretty clever. Yes, yeah.
She's
There were
amazing.
There were a couple back then. Some Like It Hot.
Some Like It Hot is classic.
Amazing.
That's as classic as Rye. You're not
it is.
American if you
Yeah.
don't watch Some Like It Hot.
Jack Lemmon.
I don't feel like a patriot.
Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon.
It is one of those movies where
It's
it's old,
hilarious.
and so like there's definitely outdated stuff, but you watch it, it's like this
Wow,
is
some like it hot.
like you
Let me
watch it
tell ya.
and it's like they nailed components of it. Has nothing to do with culture. It's just
Human.
and it's so good.
Yeah, speaking of human, everything, everywhere, all at once. You got to watch it, folks. Okay,
It's a
Anyways,
great movie.
Moving on.
You watch Some Like It Hot and you'll understand why Marilyn Monroe was a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Which, honestly,
She's
I
amazing.
don't know why. I was like, why? What's the deal with Marilyn Monroe?
Well,
Happy
you must not like it,
birthday,
Mr. President.
Mr. President. Oh my happy birthday!
Jeez.
Oh, that's what I think of Marilyn Monroe.
You know what's funny is anytime that's brought up, that particular thing, I just think of Wayne's World. when Mike Myers like, birthday, Mr. President, because he puts on Cassandra's bra when she's on the phone.
Yes.
So
Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony? My drummer. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they-
all right. Enough pop culture. That's not what this podcast is about.
You can cut this out, but I'm going to say it anyway. So the Ukrainians on Putin's birthday, they played the Marilyn Monroe "Happy Birthday, Mr. President"
my
as
God.
they bombed the bridge connecting to Russia to Crimea. I'm not even joking.
Are you
I'm not.
serious?
Yes, I am 100%.
Leave it
serious.
in.
I'm
Leave it
100% serious.
That's
I'm
amazing.
not kidding. They sent that out. Seriously,
Fuck
it was
yeah.
Putin's birthday, and they bombed the bridge from Russia
Hey,
to the Crimea.
They're
That's
just trying
beautiful.
to rope us into this.
Bomb.
Bombed
Russia.
over Baghdad.
Bomb,
Bombs
bomb,
over
rush.
Oh
Baghdad.
wow!
All right.
So there might have been. Well, we're back to old Ezra.
Yeah.
Old Ezra.
Welcome back to Old Ezra, where it smells luscious. This is thick, boys. This is a thick one.
Thick as Marilyn.
She was a thick one.
Oh
I
my
mean-
God.
She had some heavies.
She had some heavies.
Where,
Beautiful
where
woman.
is this? I'm not selling Marilyn Monroe. I'm not selling some like
you
a
don't
hot-
have to.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
All right. So old Ezra, Rick, we brought it down. What do we got here?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's nice and creamy.
It's deep.
This-
It's
God,
deep,
You had to
yeah.
say that.
You
Come
wanted.
on.
You said when were we getting to the creamy stuff? Well, we brought it.
Here's the creamy.
This is close, and it's for this 114. The Sagamore was 110, so it's fairly close in proof, but definitely it's a different profile. It's luscious, but in a different way.
Super luscious.
I think it's way like
When you say luscious, what does that mean?
Just sort of for me,
a desserty.
deep flavors, dark flavors, dense. Just good mouthfeel.
So I'd say curvy.
There you go. To me, this feels very compact. Like it's not wild, like doing all sorts of crazy stuff, like crazy notes going on. It's very compact, which to me means it's well put together, but it's super dense. Like within that core, it's got a lot going on, and it's very powerful, and it just absolutely hits your palate. Like it's got the core of sweetness. It's got clearly high proof, but it cuts through the sweet, the oak, the spice that's going on with the rye.
Yeah.
But it brings it all. It's got a large gravitational pull.
Yeah.
It's got things
It's like
orbiting
kind of a fun way to describe it. I like that. I think on the nose it's a little bit more spicier, and then on the tongue it hits all the notes, but it kind of just goes more luscious. It doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not spiky. It just
right.
Yeah.
The Sagamore had the sweetness at the core, but had the cool different spiky notes we talked about, from fennel to all kinds of different stuff going on. This one I think has most of those notes. They're just not as spiky coming off that core. That core.
Some bottles, when you taste it, they explode into your palate. This one, I feel like, is an implosion. Like it takes all the stuff and it just
I would
collapses in on itself.
Or a smolder. It's like a
red
slowly
dwarf.
smoldering on your tongue.
Yeah.
Supernova.
Smolder and Scully.
Old Ezra Supernova.
Supernova, from a teacher's perspective, that's sucking in.
That's
Implosion is sucking in. A supernova. Actually, that is an implosion.
Yes, it's an implosion.
The old supernova.
To be a star, you have to have a sun that is
has a good voice.
Exploding.
it
knows how to play
It has a
guitar.
certain mass. It has a certain critical mass. When it implodes, it becomes a supernova.
Something unique.
Which is actually how we found out that the universe was expanding at an accelerating rate.
All right, Einstein.
Yeah.
I gave a lecture on that, actually.
Yeah, that sounds really fun, and it's
I
honestly.
gave a lecture on that,
Whoa.
actually.
Oh, wow. I'm feeling lectured.
So
I do know physics. Damn it.
Wow.
Despite everything you've seen on this show,
he may have a physics degree.
I
What
have
he
a
freaking
science
do?
background.
Matter of
All
fact,
right.
he's got sort of Einstein hair. He's keeping it contained.
Yes.
Actually, I have Einstein hair. It just imploded inward.
It's imploding.
Oh my god.
It's imploding in my head.
Yeah.
And coming out my ears, apparently.
Oh, yeah. And his nose, his ears,
Yeah.
his eyebrows,
Yeah.
his face.
Going
Yeah.
the other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Ryan is not bald. Trust me.
No. Up, down there.
It's inside of his head. That's what counts.
There we go.
Whoa.
Jesus.
That's where it's
Talk
coming
about
out.
a stag
Wow.
party.
Now,
Yeah,
now
no
we're getting
kidding.
views. Now we're getting the likes.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
They're liking
Wow.
that. They're hitting that like button.
Holy
We need
cow.
more of that.
Pink hat,
Yeah.
the purple robe, and chest hair.
Yeah. In the morning.
Wow.
In the morning.
Definitely morning time.
Whoa.
How
I think
does
you
this
need,
feel,
I think
Rick?
you need a manscape.
So Manscaped
Rick,
plug.
you finished your glass.
I
But-
did.
You
We're-
can
we're
get
cheersing
20% off
Oh.
Manscaped.
Hey, cheers.
We're down in it. Ding ding ding.
Brian.
To old Ezra. Old Ezra's fantastic.
To Rye.
To Rye
Rye wins the
in.
morning.
Brian's hair.
It's the old rye morning.
Yes, indeed.
Turns out I start all my mornings like this, but it's kind of normal.
I start off kind of like a Siberian Riger.
Like a
A liger.
Siberian Riger.
A liger.
So
You said
we've
liger?
gone through a lot of rice. I'm putting this one away.
Yeah.
We've gone through some good stuff, and if only we had one more.
Oh,
We
Well,
could
we have
really,
plenty.
we could
Oh,
We
really
could do any of.
we could
We
do
have,
any of
we
them.
have a ton of
Oh,
different stuff.
shit.
Should
look
I
at
bring it
something's-
out?
something's
What the
arising.
heck? That thing is showing.
Oh,
What?
baby.
It's growing fast.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Ooh, this is this.
Old Pepper Distillery.
Who are you? Where did that come from? What the heck?
I'm Jordy boy.
9.8 proof.
109.
He's hot.
All right.
Jordan's hot.
I'm ready to go.
So you brought that.
I brought it for you boys.
Wow.
That's nice. That's cool. Let's give it a go.
I appreciate that.
I have never had this before.
I've never had this.
This is
before.
actually a gift.
to us. Yeah, thank you. We'll put it added to the collection. Thank you.
But it was gifted to you.
It's staying in my home.
Oh.
You motherfuckers. I see what's going on.
Yeah.
So this is James E. Pepper, which you may see on shelves most places. That's the normal label for this distillery. They have a bourbon, they have a rye. This is the elevated version, barrel strength, I guess, single barrel.
Okay.
It looks like.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
'cause
rye.
54.9.
Tasty.
Ooh, this is.
I've never even seen this
yeah,
bottle.
no,
before.
I've never seen it either.
To be
So
honest.
Old Pepper is known, and it's most likely sourced probably from MGP, but Old Pepper is known for their ryes, and Oliver Pepper was his dad, and Oliver Pepper passed, and then
Which we've tried the bourbon and the rye.
right,
The-
exactly,
the
and
James
the
E.
bourbons, yeah, the James. So James, so Oliver Pepper passed. James inherited the distillery, but he was considered too young. So he was named. He was given a benefactor in court, and it was E.H. Taylor of the E.H. Taylor Buffalo Trace line.
Interesting.
Did someone say E.H. Taylor? Oh my
E.H.
God,
Taylor?
what's
Is that a
going on
rye?
here? This is the.
That's a rye, isn't it?
Is this no? It's
That's
just
the barrel
the
proof.
barrel proof.
Well, I saw the green.
yeah, it's green.
It's green.
Actually, their rye is
Yeah,
orange.
it's
which is
weird. Yes, exactly.
So-
Wrong play.
So
Hey-
they rebuilt this distillery and they filled their first barrel in 2017.
Oh.
when it says finished by hand, what does that mean?
Oh, you know, just like it's just finished by hand.
Yeah,
Like this
Well,
podcast.
I mean,
That's
I
a
just-
marketing. A marketing.
It is.
Marketing.
So I will
gesture.
say the proof and they put the warehouse and it is handwritten. So
That's what
It's finished by hand.
Oh, the bottle's finished.
They-
It's by hand.
they did clearly finish it by hand.
Oh,
But
that
clearly small batch stuff. This
Yeah.
is
Hey,
probably
what,
single
what are
barrel.
they doing with their hands, Rick? Come
I
on.
don't know, but I've never seen this before. Finest Kentucky oak. So they're suggesting. So the
An oak tree.
The forests of Kentucky.
So I did read on here they
What is it, a
They
desert
mature
there?
it.
I don't know.
They mature it in oak barrels and then
toasted staves.
they put it again in toasted
Ooh.
staves barrels. So this is kind of a double oaked thing
Yeah, it's
with
They-
toasted.
It is
toasted
Kind of
stuff.
massage it with their hand a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, they
finished by
toast it. They
hands.
put it in the toaster a little bit, and then they.
So what do you guys got in the nose? Because this is a very unique nose to me. Like I feel the toasted makes me, knowing this toasted, it has a little bit of a. It's hard to describe, but it's like a sour, burnt flavor.
Oh, really? I was gonna say a softer sweetness.
No, there's a sourness there.
Yeah, it's something
For me, there is.
It's strange, like
see
a
the
like
sourness.
an orangey
I'm
burnt
I'm smelling
rind. It's like a rind of an orange.
a
Sure,
little bit.
but that could just be the high proof.
I'm smelling like Sour Patch candy, and I don't eat
Interesting.
that.
Like
I go
Just
the
slightly.
maybe this is just from listening to you guys, but I feel the dill
Have you-
Really?
on the nose or the taste?
taste.
Taste.
I think
Oh.
you're thinking of dill with this sour note that I'm describing.
Yeah.
Because it's
The
kind of
sourness.
heading towards dill, but it's not really pickly or dilly. It's something strange. It takes you more towards an orange rind. Like it's not
An
sweet
orange
in
pickle?
any way. Yeah, an orange, a pickled orange.
Pickled orange.
Ooh, this is
Pickled
strange. This
orange.
is fun. I like this. It's certainly sweet. It has a sweetness, but it has a strange flavor I can't describe.
Try it.
Okay. Don't
It's-
mind if I do.
It has such an interesting combination of pepper, citrus,
Orange citrus.
sweetness.
Pickle.
Ooh, that's like a confusing.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
confusing.
Bottle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It. Wow.
You know where it's not confusing? I've had one sip of it, and I'm gonna agree. I got to take some more sips, but that one sip, it's not confusing. Here, 30 seconds later, it is just a really, really nice taste and feel. 30 seconds later,
It ends very sweet.
yeah, that's yes, for sure.
It takes you like on a like you're at a water park and you're sitting there on a slide that's like going all over the place, and then it's just like, and we're now on the lazy river. We're just kind of hanging out.
It ends on very lazy river.
Yeah. Mm.
But there's definitely some spice.
There's even a
going on.
Coca-Cola
See,
kind of note. I get.
On the finish, there is sweetness on the finish, but I get definitely some black pepper
Oh.
and wood spice with
Yeah.
it,
Yes.
but it's pleasant. It's a pleasant,
Well,
complex, pleasant finish.
Pepper.
Yeah, old pepper.
there better be some pepper
I'd hope so.
taste in it.
That packs a punch, man.
It-
like
it-
that.
Kind of reminds me of Christmas a little bit, like some
Pepper
sort of
finished in that bottle.
peppermint, or like some sort of Irish creamy.
I
kind
think,
of
You
I,
don't
think,
like
I,
that,
think, I
Ryan?
think I know what's going. I think I know what's going on. I think that this is.
It's too early for that.
I think
let
that
pepper
that
finish
really
later.
subtle sweetness and pleasantness
Stand
that
on
it
it.
settles on. I think that's the second barreling and the toasted oak.
It's fun coming off of the previous bottles because we're like talking high end ryes over here,
Yes.
and this I don't know the price range of this actually because you just brought it, but
And it was a gift. Was it a gift?
100
ooh, interesting.
100
Okay.
bucks?
$100.
Interesting. That kind of like mixes it up a little bit because it's certainly unique. And this is a rye
Is that a bubble in there?
that
Not anymore.
that brings in a unique experience, but it's a little pricey. And I would argue, nothing against your bottle you brought.
Wow.
I would argue
Here we go.
that I
There
don't
we
think this
go.
would sell. This isn't going to convince somebody.
This is for rye
This
drinkers.
is
This
rye
is for rye
drinkers.
drinkers. Yes.
This is not to convince someone to drink rye.
Yeah.
This is for people who already like
Who
rye.
love rye.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which we like it.
If you're in the
because we
Rye
like
Club,
rye.
you're going to rye
Yeah,
the
Right
fuck
Side
out
Local
of
loves
this.
this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
for
God.
Yeah.
sake.
And you'll have to
Manscaped.
pay, a little bit of money in
Man.
our Patreon to see what goes on later with that.
Maybe Manscaped can.
Homely
Rye
Send some money this
only
way.
fans.
Homely fans.
Right Side Loco
Only
only
fans.
has fans. All right.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate you bringing it over. I've
Yeah,
never had this
yeah,
before.
it's,
This
This
is
is awesome.
super
Thank you to
interesting.
my sister, right?
Yeah.
She gave
Yeah.
it to me.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you, Julie.
awesome.
Yeah.
She
I know your
knows
name.
what she's doing. I mean,
She's
seriously,
watching
that's
the
a
episode.
109
me.
proof.
She's a huge fan of the show. Watches it every week.
No, this is super interesting, and I am pleased by it.
Oh, you're pleased.
content.
I'm pleased.
No, it's weird in a good way,
Yeah. No, this is fun. Thank you.
but not for
bringing it.
everyone. Not for everyone.
Yeah.
Because it's really spicy in certain ways, but
Yeah.
then that toasted oak brings it sort of.
But that's the thing is, like you enter the rye. Okay, you come into the rye from the cheaper stuff. You're like, okay, I feel it. The 100 proof Old Forester is like, I get it. It reminds me of bourbon. Then you move up. You go to the Knob Creek, and it's like, all right, I'm getting that peppery. I'm getting the sweetness. What's going on here? This is different than bourbon. Then you start going up. You start spending some money on Sagamore Rye. All right, you start spending some money on Old Ezra. You start spending some money on Stellum Rye. Okay, don't get me started.
Wild turkey rye.
Yeah,
we could
don't
go on.
get
We
me
could go on
started.
and
We
on.
could go on and on. This is the field that you need to explore if you're a bourbon drinker, because you have to. This podcast is not for you to just drink your daily drinker. You're sitting there, oh, I drink Crown Royal. That's what I drink. No, this isn't for you. Okay, you want to explore. All right, we're space cadets. We're going,
Lewis and/or Clark.
We're trying different things.
I'm halfway through the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Exactly. You are about
Lewis and/or Clark.
Yeah, we are trying to find the alcohol that just fits our palates, and you're here with us. All right, rye fits the palate. You need to drink it because once you get to the point where you can enjoy this,
You can fit it inside.
this Old Pepper, it's a strange bottle, but it's really unique. It's so good.
I'm a
Rye
pepper,
is
you're a
more
pepper.
that's more Wild West.
Oh, it's Wild West.
Oh, it's
boys.
Wild
Wild
West.
Wild
Yeah.
West.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
It's hardy.
Yes.
It's
Yes. That's why I put my
it's Will
You
Smith.
got
my
your
holsters
six-
on.
you got he's got 2 6-shooters. You got 12 shots. Watch out there, folks.
Double shot.
I need recovery time for that.
I think so. We have the rest of the whole day. We can recover.
We do.
We can
Yeah,
recover
we
the
do.
rest of the day.
Good
9
thing this
a.m.,
is
right?
not a work day. That's
Yeah.
all I have to
Yeah.
say.
9
All right,
a.m.,
folks.
baby.
Well, if you haven't figured out by now,
Rye.
ryes are worth it. You get ryes. Go try it out. Right Ty Loco is approved. He approves all these ryes. All right. You like the video, okay? Because you like the content. We brought you some unique perspectives from all walks of life. Rye.
Why'd you look at Jordan on that one?
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?